In recent years, unemployment and hunger have increased for ordinary Americans, and J.P. Morgan Chase has profited from their misery.
As you know, we are the largest processor of food stamps in the country, so we've seen huge increase in volume over the past year or two. Number of people receiving food stamps up 40% in the last 2 years. That's a factor of the poor economy, and unemployment is a big factor in that.
According to a government watchdog study of food stamps, which are stored electronically on EBT cards, J.P. Morgan Chase's involvement in the program began in late 2003. Before Chase got into the business, costs of the program were tied directly to the number of food stamp users. With costs of about $25 billion a year and 25 million people on food stamps, the program cost about $1,000 a year for each person using food stamps. After J.P. Morgan Chase got involved, costs spiked up to $70 billion, while the number of users increased to 42 million, an average cost of about $1,700 per user. Aside from driving up expenses, Chase's management of food stamp transactions had another effect.
To save money, J.P. Morgan has been routing benefit card customer service calls to India, where employees reportedly earn no more than $3.50 an hour.
J.P. Morgan Chase has been able to heap enormous expenses onto food stamps at the same time it offshores jobs for one reason: political contributions to members of the agriculture committees in Congress. These committees control the USDA, which oversees food stamps. Before managing EBT transactions, Chase contributed about $100,000 a year. After, the bank's donations to committee members more than tripled. The cost of the food stamps program and Chase's contributions to ag committee members skyrocketed together. Chase's management of food stamps is an example of how private corporate political contributions turn into massive costs shouldered by the public. Before Chase was involved, costs reflected the number of users, so that by 2010, when 42 million people used food stamps, costs should have been about $45 billion. But that's not what happened because Chase got involved, which sent costs through the roof, from $45 billion to $70 billion. This is the result of tapping Chase as the middleman. It's a surcharge on taxpayers of $25 billion a year. What drove this increase was J.P. Morgan Chase, upping political contributions to ag committee members from $100,000 to $325,000 a year. In other words, all Congress had to get from J.P. Morgan Chase was another $225,000 in contributions, and they went along with a food stamps bill that was $25 billion bigger. Chase's political contributions are getting wildly amplified directly onto taxpayers' backs, an extraordinary amount of power. Each and every dollar donated by J.P. Morgan Chase turns into more than $100,000 in extra costs for ordinary Americans, while the banking elites lick their chops every time those people can't find work.
As the unemployment benefit extensions begin to expire, a lot of those people are still unable to find work, and we are seeing some of that flow across into the food stamp rolls.
How the system works and who's paying for it are clear. What we don't know is who's getting the $25 billion coming out of taxpayer pockets. But certain answers, 150 million of them, can be eliminated right off the bat.